Yeah.
I think it's going to be wonderful.
I think it's going to be great.
Or it could be terrible.
It could be terrible.
All right, I am joined by a very special guest. You already know her. She's been guest starring in many of my videos. Jessalynn, correct?
I'm also in the intro to your video, which is
actually
a little
very
weird.
briefly.
Yeah.
I didn't pay you anything for that.
No, he did not pay me anything for
I
that.
will give you 17 cents for that.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So yeah, we're best cruise buddies.
Yep.
And not only that, but you are a travel agent.
That's right.
With Let's Book Your Cruise.
I am, yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about like how you became a travel agent?
Yeah, so I've been cruising since I was 13 years old, and basically I loved it so much, and I love the planning, and I love giving people advice. I figured it would be great to do that for other people.
You kind of like bossing people
I
around.
do like bossing people around. It's true.
But we like to
I don't
be
know
bossed.
what I don't know what that says about you as my friend. But so
I'm a beta. That's what it says.
So I started planning cruises as a travel agent in 2017. And went through the whole pandemic and came out on the other side. And and now book a whole range of cruises on all the different cruise lines.
Well, ding dang, like you've been doing this for, I don't it's a new thing I'm trying to, did you like it?
That was good. I liked it.
So you've been doing this for like 8 years already.
I have been, yeah, that's crazy.
I would say, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably would have started by booking like traditional cruises for people, right? Like full, like you go off the brochure, blah, 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 blah. So you still do those.
Yes.
But you've kind of fallen since, we spend more and more time in the casino, and there's like kind of a little bit of a dearth in the market, I think, of people who are specializing in booking casino comps through a travel agent, right?
That's right.
So you've kind of settled into that really nicely. Might not be like the big ticket money ones, but you still get to like serve people, and you still do pretty good. It's just more, you have to do more.
Yeah, so the model for booking casino comps is a little different. So for a regular cruise, I get paid a percentage of the cruise fare on commission. And of course, a comp cruise does not have a cruise fare. So I get paid a flat rate commission by Club Royale, who runs Royal Caribbean's casino operation, to book comp cruises for people. So it's a different commission structure, but you still get paid a commission. And because of that, it's a really great addition to my work as a travel agent to make sure that I can both book casino comps and also full cruises, because sometimes my comp clients like to bring their families with them, or they want to go on other cruises that they don't have a comp for, so I can help them out with those as well.
Right. And then I guess if you have if you are a traditional travel agent, you didn't really have any experience booking these casino comps, like it'd be really hard to help people, because I know I've used a couple, like one of your friends one time, and she was lovely, but I don't think she really understood it the way that you do.
Well, I think that one of the things to keep in mind is that I do this all the time. And so all of the little intricacies of the system are things that I've mostly dealt with before. I book them at scale. And so I'm very used to the fact that when I call in, it's going to take a long time. It doesn't bother me as much because I have a system that's worked out for that. But one of the things that's an advantage of having a travel agent to book your comps is you are not the person that's waiting on hold forever. And I will say, in the Royal Caribbean system, that is especially kind of a feature of their system, and it's fine. I've kind of figured out ways to work around it, and it's not so frustrating for me.
Okay, so I would say you're a Royal Caribbean specialist, right? Not only just with casino comps, but with just Royal Caribbean in general. You are pinnacle with Royal Caribbean, so you've been on a zillion Royal Caribbean cruises.
My pen.
You've only not been on 3 ships, right? 3 ships that are sailing today.
There are 2 ships that are sailing today that I've not been on.
So you can tell people, if they say, I want this experience, this many people, I want this type of cabin, you can say, oh, this is the perfect one for you, because you've been on them.
That is correct.
That's
correct.
amazing. So when we're talking about comps, so you do Royal Caribbean for casino comps. Which other lines do you do?
I can do Carnival casino comps. I can do Princess casino comps. I'm just starting to get integrated with that system. I'm working on hopefully booking casino comps for Margaritaville at Sea.
Nice.
It's a great time on that.
Hey, that's where we are.
That's where we are right now. And those are the ones that I primarily specialize in for right now.
Sweet. Yeah. And I'm sure, like, if somebody comes along and says, I want to book a Norwegian, you'll still figure it out.
I could figure it out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a list of questions that, I've stumbled upon in my videos. I get in comments all the times, and then you kind of see when you're trolling Facebook or people ask you directly. So let's just go through these and see. Well, I mean, we answered the first question, which is, can a TA book a casino comp?
Yes, I can.
We solved that.
We did that.
So how much would that cost?
So there is no cost to the client. Cue a shocked face.
I'm shocked.
To have me book a casino comp. So like I said, I do get paid a small flat rate commission, and so that's why I can book these comps for people without charging them for it.
It's really funny that you say that because even after I met you, I didn't really use you for. I just did my own because I just figured that's how you do casino comps, right?
Yeah.
You just figure it out for yourself and you book them. So when I did it for the first time, like I was just like, well, I'm honestly like. The only benefit I saw is that I was going to get my friend some money. So that made me happy.
Yeah,
but then I started discovering that, wait, there's like actually a lot of like really good benefits to using a travel agent to book a casino comp. So can you go through a few of those for us?
Yeah, so we kind of touched on a couple of them. One is obviously that I have a lot of knowledge on the different kinds of ships. So if you're deciding between, a 7-night Southern Caribbean cruise on Brilliance of the Seas versus a 3-night cruise on Utopia of the Seas, I can tell you based on what you tell me about what you like, what you don't like, I can tell you which is a better fit. Because those are two very different experiences.
Sure.
And so that's a big part of it. Obviously not having to wait on the phone, not having to learn all the rules yourself. There are a lot of tricky rules with this program that change all the time without warning or notification sometimes. And so not having to learn those for yourself is a big part of it. But another advantage for being for working with a travel agent is that there's an ability for some bookings to get upgrades, whether it's for cheap or for free, which I like to do for you because you're one of my favorites.
Aww.
And the travel agent's booking site gives us the ability to see pricing information at a much more nuanced, detailed level. So I am able to see better than somebody on the commercial site when those upgrades are available. And then I can just call that in for you and you don't have to do anything.
That's amazing. And this is an absolute fact because she's done this for me, I think 3 or 4 times. A couple of times I've been upgraded from like an ocean view to a balcony. I've been upgraded from an interior to like what do they call those ones?
Those promenade views. Yep.
In like the Freedom of the Seas or a ship like that. I've been upgraded for like, I think one time it was $36. Like, yeah, I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
And that was all because you knew that, I mean, without going into too much detail and being a layman, I probably explained it incorrectly. But if the price of the value of the room that you booked on the comp, if an upgrade falls to that level, then that makes an upgrade available, right? Because your comp is based on a dollar value of the room. It's not necessarily of a category. Right?
Right. So your comp is based on, let's say you get an interior comp. It's based on the value of the lowest priced interior cabin category. There are all these different categories for interior ocean view, which again, I can see a little bit more detail on my side. And so if it happens that, let's say, this happens all the time on certain classes of ships, and that's another kind of piece of information I know, if you have an ocean view comp, let's say, and in the current pricing, a boardwalk balcony is cheaper than the ocean view comp, they will give you the boardwalk balcony as a free upgrade. Right. So that's basically what I look for and what I can do for you.
Right, and then you would know, and me to some extent, being on these ships so many times. I mean, I've been on 20 Royal Caribbean ships. So, I mean, not as much as you, but I'm doing okay. Just hit Diamond Plus, by the way. Yay! We're going on Grandeur. It's my first D plus. Let's do it. But yeah, like I know for a fact that like those promenade view rooms are less popular, and I also know that boardwalk balcony are less popular. And let's be honest, there are a couple of downsides to those rooms, right? The promenade can be a little bit noisy depending on what's going on, and that's especially right.
Yeah.
If you don't mind hearing the Johnny Rockets dance song at 8 o'clock in the morning,
definitely a thing.
And then at 11 o'clock, and then at 1 o'clock, and then kids screaming on the carousel. Honestly, it's really not that bad.
Actually,
you do hear it. If you're very sensitive to sound,
Yeah.
I would say probably avoid them. But you know what? If you don't mind a little sound,
But one thing you can do to minimize that is you can go all the way to the end of the hall. If you're all the way at the end of the hall, you're farther away from the carousel, farther away from the Johnny Rockets. You even get like a little bit of a ocean view kind of.
and you can watch the Aqua
And
Theater
you can watch
show.
the Aqua Theater show.
Yeah.
So that's what working with a travel agent gives you
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I definitely highly recommend it because I think it's just been nothing but great, and yeah, I love it. So what do you do with an instant certificate
Yes. So Royal Caribbean's Club Royale program is unique in that it is surprisingly very transparent in a lot of ways. So when you earn points on a cruise, you are awarded, based on the number of points you earn, this instant certificate. And generally speaking, it is a free cruise. These days it is sometimes a free cruise for 2, sometimes it is the cruise fare for only 1. Again, that's another nuanced detail that I could talk about forever, but would get really boring. But the cruise, the instant certificate awards you a free cruise, basically. And so I can help you book those. I can give you the information you need to know to, for instance, get a next cruise deposit so that you can get onboard credit and free play bonuses, things like that. So that instant certificate basically rewards you for your play on board.
Yeah, and I know you get mad at me because there was one time on Grandeur, I think I was like, what was it, 100 points away from getting an instant cert?
Yeah.
And you kept pestering me to get it, and I was like, I'm not going to use it.
I know.
And it makes you so mad. And she's right, because the instant certs that I've booked, I've ended up getting free play and stuff, and then I get on the ship, and I'm like, wait, I have $150 free play? And she says, yes, Christopher, that's because you booked an instant cert.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you get them...
Listen to me.
Obviously, that's not part of the model of kind of my theme for my channel.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I'm trying to keep it low and slow and just pounce on those marketing offers. But you know what? Sometimes you have a good run. Sometimes you're on a 7-day cruise, and you're naturally going to get close to hitting those instant certs. So you should, if you're close, maybe try to go a little bit further, hit that instant cert, and then open up your options. So when you do get an instant cert, you always recommend that you go to next cruise and put your deposit down, right? Because you don't have to choose your cruise.
That's correct. Yes.
But it's locks in those extra benefits that you get.
Yeah, so the next cruise program is actually open to everybody, right? So anybody who's on a cruise can go and put down $200 as a deposit, and it's called an open booking. So you don't pick a ship, you don't pick a sail date yet. You have 60 days to do that and get some onboard credit. You actually have a whole year to do it and keep your $200 deposit. Okay. But in order to get the onboard credit, you have to book within 60 days. The next cruise is used in conjunction with the instant certificate to book the cruise. So you can think of the instant certificates, the marketing offers that you get, you can think of them almost as like coupons, right?
Okay.
The reps that I call in the, through the casino reservations line, those folks basically take your booking, make you a booking, whether it started with your next cruise or it's a new booking, and then they use your marketing offer, your instant certificate, that code, and they basically redeem a coupon to cover the cost of your cruise fare. Because it's not a free cruise, really, right? If you then think about it, again, this is like getting a little bit into the weeds maybe, but there's somebody, the casino is paying for those cruises.
Right.
Because they want you to come back and gamble more.
Right.
And so some people will get fewer marketing offers because the casino's algorithm has decided, you know what, we're not going to invest in those people.
Right.
We're going to invest in people who maybe spend a lot of time in the casino or who maybe play at a low level but show that they might someday move up to a higher level.
Right.
And so that's a big part of why those offers are given out to people, is to try to encourage that. So those different coupons are basically redeemed to say, hey, this person isn't going to pay the cruise fare, the casino's going to pay it for them.
Right. And so that's why I talk a lot about ADT, stretching your bankroll low and slow, because your time spent in the casino is a huge contributing factor to ADT, which is the calculation that these casinos use to decide whether, oh, he's going to lose a lot of money next time.
Right.
Haven't got me yet.
Right. He might lose that money next time.
And that's how they're generating these offers for you. So you may not know the answer to this, so I hate to just spring it on you, but so, like, are all casinos on ships, are they all owned by the ship, or are some of them subcontracted out?
So I think the organizational structure is different. For instance, Carnival has an umbrella organization called Ocean Players Club that all of their Carnival Corp ships are under. Okay. Carnival, Princess, Holland America. So, but Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, who are both owned by the same company, have different companies. So I think that it's still kind of a very mixed bag at this point. But at this point, you and I were talking about this the other day, there are none of them that are owned by land casinos. Right. Nobody, MGM or Caesars, none of those are operating yet. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that maybe in the future.
Yeah, so I guess I imagine that they're just keeping them as separate companies. I mean, they're obviously, it's like moving jelly beans from one jar to another.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
essentially they're keeping those profit centers separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, for
People, MBAs,
business reasons,
figure
probably
shit
so they
stuff
can
out.
write off losses on their cruise ship side and then take more profits from the casino side.
Also possible.
Shh. No, I'm sorry, Royal. I don't know. That's not true.
We should probably cut that part
Yeah,
out.
cut. I want to keep getting offers. Okay. So we've already gone through how can I upgrade my casino offer. You know, pretty much use a TA.
Yeah.
I mean, and we'll see. I mean, I can't promise you, Jeff's not going to upgrade you every single time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it may be like $150 or maybe $300 to go up 2 levels. Or
It's very strange, and actually, because I am such a big nerd, like I'm really fascinated by the fluctuations and the differences. So, like I said, there are some things that you can almost always count on. For instance, you know, certain ocean view to balcony upgrades. Sometimes you can get really cheap upgrades from balconies to junior suites. Sometimes you can get really cheap or free upgrades from junior suites to grand suites on the Oasis class, especially, which is amazing because grand suite has a whole set of perks that come with it. So anyway, but that's one of the things that I can track as a TA that's a little more difficult to do on your own.
right. Yeah. So here's an interesting thing. So I've experienced this both on the regular line with Royal Caribbean and then also the casino line. Sometimes you get somebody who doesn't quite seem to know what the answer is because you've been through it a few times and you know what the answer generally is speaking.
Yeah.
And so it may have changed or they may just not quite know, right?
Yes.
So in that case, what would you do?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on what kind of mood I'm in that day and how much time I have. Sometimes it's just easier to hang up and call and try to get a different rep that might give you a different answer. It's a complicated program, and the more the reps know, the better it is for me and everybody else. So I do try in certain circumstances to ask the rep to maybe check on something. It's very easy for them to put you on hold. They have a system that they, not escalate, but that they can use to ask questions. And so they can ask that question and have it answered. And sometimes that helps them learn something too. I'm a teacher, so I like to help the system, get as strong as possible. So I do, but sometimes you do just need to get something done and you're just like, okay, thanks, bye.
And then, hello.
And then you call back again.
Yeah, no, I learned by doing so. I totally relate to that. Once I, have to go through something, it gets more locked into my brain. So,
yeah.
Human. So let's talk about combining offers. Can you combine offers, and how do you do that?
This is a great question, and I don't think a lot of people know about this because I didn't really know about it at first. And you and I cruise together a lot, and we've combined some offers sometimes. You can, if you have two people who have the same offer. And I'll explain a little bit more what I mean by that. You can combine those offers. So when I say the same offer, it means that, let's say both of us go on a cruise in the same month and we have an instance certificate that starts with, for instance, 2506 and then A03, and maybe you have A05, right? We can combine those because they come from the same offer. They're both instance certificates from a short cruise in the month of May. Okay. Similarly with the marketing offers, they send out those marketing offers in campaigns basically, and people might get different levels, but if there's one cruise that's on two people's certificates, you can combine those offers. So basically, and these are only for offers for full comp fare for two people.
Okay.
They've started doing these comp fare for one guests. Those combine differently. A comp fare for one combines with a comp fare for one to make a comp fare for two.
Right.
That makes sense. With those full comps for two, which you can assume that as long as it doesn't say it's a comp for one, it is a full comp for two.
Right.
With those comps for two, it basically bumps you up one category all the way up to junior suite. So let's say two people have an ocean view. They can combine those for a balcony.
Nice.
So two people have an interior, they combine it for an ocean view. The best one is that somebody has a balcony and someone has an interior, that actually combines to a junior suite.
Okay.
Which is a really nice upgrade, and also is an upgrade that you can use with the annual tier awards. So for instance, if you are Prime and you get an annual interior room, and you know somebody who is Signature who gets an annual balcony room, you can combine those for a junior suite.
No way.
But with a combined cert, you have to keep in mind that both people have to go on the cruise. Right, and that's the thing with all the casino comps. The comp holder must be on the cruise.
Right.
So if something happens, let's say you and I combined our Prime cruises and got an ocean view, and you couldn't go because of work, I would have to call, make sure that an ocean view was or an interior was available to downgrade back down. which you can do that, but it's got to be available.
Right.
So what happens if it's not available? So that's it's a bit risky, but like if I could find somebody with signature, no offense, to combine my offer with.
I think you know some signatures.
I do know a few of them. To combine my offer with, I could bump up to a junior suite.
That is sick.
The junior suite is the ceiling, right?
Yeah.
So let's say I know somebody who's a master's who gets a grand suite as their tier. Doesn't matter. They can't combine with me to get to a higher level.
Right. Okay. That's really interesting. So how about like can you combine your own offers?
You cannot combine your own offers. You cannot use two of your own offers on the same cruise, and that applies for both comps and also for trade-in value.
Okay.
So let's say you have two offers. You have an instant certificate, but you also have a marketing offer with a trade-in. You cannot combine those.
Right, to get like onboard credit or something.
Yeah, and you can't even like some people say, well, I went on 2 cruises in May, and my 2 cruises both have the same offer code. Doesn't matter if they're both yours. They can't be combined.
Right. Okay, that's good to know. So there is actually one brand new thing that is an exception to this rule that I'm sure you were about to get into. So Royal, I think the whole cruising industry is starting to get a bit nervous because of reasons. I've got a video. I will link it in the description talking about all the reasons why. But bookings are down. Available inventory is rising, right? So what does that mean? More great offers, more enticements to come on board. I've seen my offers get better. And then one of the things they just did is, I think October is a particularly slow month for them.
It's hurricane season.
Right?
Yep.
So they've now released this offer that I just got, $100 free play that is combinable with another offer.
Yeah.
So that would be the exception to the rule.
This is
right?
the second free play offer we've seen like this that is combinable, but it is a special type of offer.
And they specifically say you can do that, right? That's where you're going to know whether you can or not.
Exactly.
Okay. Why don't you quickly? This is for kind of maybe some of my newer viewers, but what does it mean to be Prime Signature Masters with Royal Caribbean?
Yeah, so those are designations that Royal sets up with yearly earnings kind of benchmarks, right? So their first benchmark is Prime. It's 2,500 points in a casino year, which runs from April 1st to the next March 30th, which is a weird way to do it.
It is.
Okay, it's a little weird. But basically they say if you earn 2,500 points, you are a Prime level and you'll get all these certain benefits. If you earn more, you earn 25,000, then you're Signature and you get even more benefits. And then the final tier is Masters, 100,000 points and above in that calendar year. And so one way to think about it, because it is kind of strange with the casino year being off from the regular year, the way that I like to explain it is on April 1st of every year, the program does a look back. Looks back over the last year and it says, hey, how many points did this person earn? And it classifies you into one of those 3 tiers. And based on that classification, you keep that tier status through until the next April 1st.
Right.
You'll get awarded a cruise, free, an interior for Prime, balcony for Signature, grand suite for Masters. And then you'll get all the perks through that whole next year. That is one thing that's really can be advantageous. So let's say you're a new cruise gambler. Maybe you're a new gambler, maybe you've been only gambling on land. Let's say you come in May and you earn 2,500 points. You will immediately become Prime because that's how the system works. So let's say May of 2025, you come in, you become Prime, you get your Prime status immediately, you get to enjoy all the benefits. Then April 1st of the next year, 2026, in that look back, they'll say, hey, this person earned 2,500 points. They're going to be Prime for the whole next year.
Yeah.
So you can, depending on the timing of it, keep that status for almost up to 2 years.
Right. And the only thing that you wouldn't get would be the tier award cruise for the first year. Because that's only awarded once at reset.
Exactly. They only do that in April when they do the look
But
back
you get the free drinks.
You get the free drinks, you'll get marketing offers, you'll get instant certificates.
Yeah.
If you come on a cruise, especially a short cruise, and you get to Prime in one cruise, you're going to get a good instant certificate. Even really on a week-long cruise, you're going to get a good instant certificate. You're going to get good marketing offers too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been great.
Yes.
So if you guys have any other questions for either me or Jess, just drop them in the comments and I will keep bothering her until they're all answered.
Yes. High five.
Thank you for watching.